the biggest learning, I think, for Surya and everyone will be at this stage is to, in a game like this, maybe just go with the flow and not really think about finishing the game there, and getting your tough bowlers who are having a tough day on, and not leaving a spinner to finish the job. So if you see the last 3 overs bowled by Prasidh and Axar between them, was always going to be a lot of pressure on them because they were anyways having a tough day today.
Yeah.
But an individual stepping up and doing what he does, the kind of impact he has created in this format, on his day, he can take any attack apart.
Yeah, they would. I mean, they needed 43 of the last 2, and you would always back the bowling team to do that, but not if you have Maxwell on strike. Then you definitely think the batting team has a chance, and today, well, they did, and they got it done. They, that partnership, when the partnership between Matthew Wade and Glenn Maxwell was going on, they were always needed 43. I'm sure that Maxwell and Wade were talking to each other, and Maxwell was saying, "Bhai, if you didn't give me the last over, we would have needed 30 right now." Wade was said, "You have to do it now. I gave it to you. You gave away so many runs." Yeah. But 43 of 2 even to get that, I think, 99 times out of 100, you'll still back the bowling team.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, having said that, Indian bowlers did bowl few good balls, but sometimes, while talking about bowling, we do not give enough credit to the shot making of the Australian batters here. Yeah. If you look at the bowling lineup, I thought Axar Patel and Ravi Bishnoi was outstanding today. I think they were the one who actually, created that chaos in between where they bowled 3-4 good overs, and that forced Australia to play the way they had to play. One of the things which obviously learning which for Indian team is to make sure that they finish their overs in time. Yeah. I mean, today last over they had an extra fielder inside, and the first ball of Matthew Wade which went to deep square leg, usually there would have been a fielder there and then he would have got out there. So I think that's something which I think every team will have to take care in the mind, because that can actually affect the result. And today's game, I think that was again one of the reason why India could not defend those 21 in last over.
I think we've seen that a few times now, right? This rule is really becoming effective in changing games, because in the last over, suddenly instead of 5, when you have 4 outside on the boundary, it changes your angles, it changes your bowling, it changes the captain's thought.
You've seen that in the first match as well. When Australia were defending, I think they got penalised for 2 overs.
Yeah.
They had to keep fielders inside for 2 overs, and they were defending 209 in the first one. Any game which is going to go over 200, your bowlers are going to be under pressure at that stage. So it's very hard to control things also. You've seen the discussions which were going. The captain and the think tank were trying to get together, maybe trying to slow the game down and looking at the right option. That is definitely going to take that much longer then. So something to food for thought for sure. Yeah. For every team.
Yeah.
Because you talk about this game, you talk about small margins, you talk about controlling the controllables, you talk about not bowling no balls, you talk about not bowling wides, maybe wides if you're strategically bowling to a certain batter in the weak zone, not to come in the arc. Then at times teams decide that, okay, if you're bowling wides for that reason, is going to be fine, but then it's controllable. So I think this is going to be a crucial aspect going forward, especially in this format where teams will be very cautious of or very concerned, and making sure that they do not get into situations like this, especially when you are under the pump and the pressure is on.
And today I can tell you this much, that Ishan Kishan will be steering clear of Axar Patel. He's very lucky that Axar is a jovial guy, because those figures you see of Axar, they actually don't tell you how well he has bowled. He bowled a 19th over against a marauding Glenn Maxwell and Matthew Wade, and he did that well. But what has happened there is there were two. Well, actually, the main error that's happened over there is the fact that there was a no ball given because Ishan Kishan came ahead of the stumps. Yeah. Parthiv, you'll talk us through that rule and just how expensive that turned out to be.
So basically, when your gloves are ahead of your stump, you're supposed to collect the ball behind the stump and not ahead of the stump. And even if you collect it, it's a no ball. And that's exactly what happened. Though it was the margin of error was only 1 centimeter. And as a wicket keeper, you usually try and get your hands very quickly. but you have to make sure that the hand stays behind the stump. And in this case, Ishan's hand were ahead of the stump and snowball. And next ball went for a 6.
The free hit.
Free hit. So I think that made a big difference. But see, there was another by boundary, but that can happen because Maxwell was trying to play a reverse sweep, but that can happen. But these errors are, that's something which is in your control, and you have to, in expense of taking an early stumping, you just gave away that no ball.